Okay, we almost finished the last paragraph of the Maimon, so we're just going to do it. I'm sorry, the second last. And the Nakud that he's saying is, he's explaining, Yehi Hashem Elokeinu Imanu, kasher hoye im aviseinu, Hashem be with us like he was with aviseinu. So he brought the beer of the Alter Rebbe, Loma yemer hagoyim ayeh Elokecha. What's the title of the goyim, the nations of the world? That you want to be mamshich alikecha, you want to be mamshich alikus in the physical world. That's not possible. What Avram did, yes, and they come from Avram, Ava Moin Goyim, Ava V'yira, that's possible. Hamshacha Ruchnius is possible, transcendence is possible, but transformation is not possible. So that's the request. The Alter Rebbe explains, Ya Hashem Elokeinu Imanu, our Avodah is the Avodah Birurim. Actually, the Rebbe added that. But our Avodah is the Midas. The Midas, which of course is the first step, or the critical step in engaging the world around us. So Kashoyim Aviseinu, just like they were Mamshech Alikos, Aviseinu, Chachma Bina, and literally Aviseinu, so too our Avodah should be Mamshech Alikos in the world. And that happens in the Hemshech HaPosek, Lahata is Levavenu Elov. We ask Hashem that our sole desire should be to serve you. Then will be Matzliach, Kashetzivas Aviseinu, to have the Tzavtza V'chibur and bring Elikos into the world. So the Alter Rebbe was speaking primarily about Aviseinu Chachma Bina versus Imanu the Midas. And the Rebbe takes it the next step, not just the Midas, but the Gashmias Haguf and the Ivarim and the hand which gives tzedakah. So let's begin again. This is all based on what the Frierdiker Rebbe said on the train station, going on Gimel Tmuz that turned out in the end to be Aschalta de Geula, but it wasn't known at the time that that's what it was. So there, standing in the train station, he said that defiant speech where he brought this pasuk. And he said at the end, L'chol b'nei Yisrael yiyeh oir beruchnius u'begashmius. That's how he concluded his words. He said, as vet mekuyim werden, it'll be not just a request, but a fact that Hashem Elokeinu Imanu Hashem Aviseinu, Al Yazveinu, he won't forsake us, Al Yichenu, not abandon us. That's how he concluded. And for all Yidden will be light, so the Rebbe has been mevayed that diuk. That with these words, he's adding more than is conveyed in the request, Hashem Elokeinu Imanu Hashem, as we just explained. So what is it? The second line now, the Shamshachi loidak b'maisa mitzvahs. So the Rebbe is saying that the request is that not only the actual performance of the mitzvah, but even in the journey and the steps, he's now traveling from one level of Golus to the other. It's still in Golus. Elagam be'eis hachona l'asiyas ha-mitzvah. So even as we're going to do a mitzvah, and when the pasuk says that the Torah should be even in your mouth when you walk along the way, that was the matzav then by the Frierdiker Rebbe when he said these words. He was on his way to the city where he needed to remain there. Between one shlichus and the other, so that too should be illuminated. No, I'm just suggesting something completely of my own suggestion. That why is the Rebbe emphasizing this? And as he continues doing this paragraph, because the Maimed Matzav of the Yidden in Russia, there was a tremendous amount of effort put into just getting to do the mitzvah, not just the mitzvah itself. To make the mikveh, to make the sukkah, to get the tefillin, to get the sefer, to set up before actually did the mitzvah. So it could be that this is what the Rebbe is emphasizing and saying that even in those moments, these transient preparatory moments, it's oid b'mashvayso. It could be that suggesting that's why the need to emphasize this and make it a reality. Let's continue. So the figure is paraphrasing Lashon HaKosov. Which pasuk is he paraphrasing? When he said, so that pasuk says, that's a Rebbe's diuk now. The Rebbe didn't say b'moshvoisam because they're not settled, and he wasn't settled. But that pasuk does, and he's invoking those words of the pasuk. Again, the idea to bring kvius, permanence, even to the impermanent, b'chitzonius. As he goes on to say, the dwelling places means where one dwells. When is a Jew present? So that's the Maimed Matzav. When Yidden do Torah mitzvahs, that's Moishe. Then they're dwelling. So now he's adding not just traveling, but seems to be the same general Nakuda. It's not clear to me exactly, but it seems to be the Pshat. So now he's saying that even what they're doing is for a short time, because there's a new shlichus and a new challenge, or even a new location. This is very open. This is in Yonim, the Rebbe is being mamshich, mitzvah say achshevei. So the principle is that a mitzvah grants permanence and chshivos to otherwise reality that is transient or not choshev. And in the order that I told you, the order there is the discussion in the Gemara, in the Mishnah, and that is the Shaila, the Tanakama holds that even non-kosher meat, so let's say of a chamer, of a donkey, is considered food, that it could contract tumas oichel, the impurity associated with food, even though people don't eat it. So normally you would have to have the person granted value as a food. But the Tanakam holds you don't have to do that because mitzvah achshavek. Since the Torah said you cannot eat it, so that grants it the significance of food, even though it itself is not food. So he's saying, applying it here, he's saying that even though the shlichus is this man kotzer and they have to move on, whatever the Rebbe is referring to, the Rebbe is saying, nonetheless, since what the Yidden are doing, what the Yid is doing is mitzvah, Torah mitzvahs, then that transient moment is forever. The Yehi ba'ofen shel kviyas v'yis yashvus. Could also mean that he's giving a bracha. They should have the presence of mind in all the changing the situations that they should have the kviyas, the settled mind, literally, to engage in Torah mitzvahs in a settled way. It could be that it's also part of the kavanah here. And he brings another raya to something impermanent. When Torah grants it value, it becomes permanent. So the subject matter here is whether a collection of huts, of tents, constitutes a city, that the tchum should be 2,000 amas from the furthest extreme hut. The halach is it isn't. They're a collection of, it's called tzrifin. Ein moededin. We don't measure from tzrifim. In order to measure the tchum of a city, it's got to be permanent dwellings. So the Gemara asked, but we see in the Midbar, where it was impermanent, right? They're all huts. And it was from one end to the other end of the camp was 3 parsois, which is 24,000 amos, because a paras is 8,000 amos, the tchum is 2,000 amos. Now the latrine was outside the camp, on the other side of behind the Mishkan, just facing Ma'ariv. So someone who lived on one end of the camp walked way beyond the tchum to go to relieve himself. Is a raya that's why is it permissible? Could consider it a large city, a city of 3,000 parsois. I mean, of 3 parsois, of 24,000 amas. So the chayr here is a raya that you have even impermanent dwellings, tents. It's also considered a city, an ir, and therefore the tchum, he can walk within the entire area. Varaya, that's what he had to do, this person. The extreme walk. And it's a raya that you still have 2,000 amas outside the boundary of the last tent. The Gemara says that's not a raya. Back inside, the Maimon, the Kiv, the Ksivbu, Al Pi Hashem Yachlan, Al Pi Hashem Yisor, command the Kvil, Lehudami. Since the Eibishter told them, travel here, stay here, set up camp here, move on, that gives it permanence, even though otherwise it would not have permanence. Even though it's temporary, it's reckoned to be permanent. The Rabbi said this many times to people. Yechidus also. There were people in a place for only a short while, but that's where you were. It could be for one day or 19 years. There were some places there were 19 years in Midbar, and some places one day. And every place is Api Hashem Yachna, Api Hashem Yisro. They took apart the Mishkan, they put it together, the same shturim. So wherever your shlichus is, even though it's obviously for a short while because you're changing and you're moving and things are changing, that's your shlichus, and you do that the whole shturim. And the Fidige Rebbe said, he would quote this. He would quote the Fidige Rebbe. That every place where Yidden were in the desert, not only a place where they were there for a long time, but in Kodesh, Kadesh, they were 19 years in Kadesh Baneya. Elagam, just a day and at night, and then they traveled. Even then, the Mishkan was set up perfectly in all of its details. Just like a place that they spent a long time. So the Benefit Rebbe is saying, he doesn't say Moishe. In this talk that he said, there means someone took, it wasn't Mulka Rebbe says, but someone wrote it. He's going even more. He's saying that all the Yidden should have oir or mashmit tevis, but Mishvayseven doesn't say the word Mishvayse, Mahaino, Leirapa. So that's going back to the point that he said before. Okay, now it's clearer. Leirapa Mishvayse, not only when they're settled, when he's doing Beis Kima, Mitzvahs Vashlichus, but even in the traveling. Again, in the Jews in Russia, there was tremendous effort and just investment in setting things up. Traveling, bein shlichus achas l'shniya. That's the chiddush of the Frierdiker Rebbe. That's the same b'shvoisa. You're settled even for a day, 19 years. Not even that. Nigam ozi emayim the master shaloi the Rebbe's pale and mighty dikazachir. That even that should be a situation of oid baruchnius and bagashmius. The Kain Lono, so should it be for us, now. Like it's written there in this transcript. She'ein zerak l'loshen tefillah, Yehi Hashem Elokeinu, Imanu is not merely a request, but it also can be translated as Yehi, he will be, l'gam loshen ha'tshek, an assurance. Shebevada Yehi Hashem Elokeinu, Imanu Hashem Aviseinu, the Eibush certainly will be with us. He was with our forefathers, all of the perushim that we gave. Afal and I think that was said then, Shein only Yechelim li domis la'aviseinu, even though we can't compare ourselves to them, like he said then, we're not like our forefathers, they actually had Mesidas Nefesh. Well, they're going to send us chosek tzas, it's missing here, they say, but in the Mugadik and Maimer, Hashem Elokeinu, I forgot which year it is, there, but asks, how could he say this? They had him, he didn't have, she's having Mesidas Nefesh now. He's saying, we're not like them. They had actual Mesidas Nefesh. And he didn't. And he wasn't. The Russian jury is not. I forgot the answer. It was the Shaila in the Maimer. Look at the Kemah. Maybe Chaim remembers. And it could be, see, the Chosek Tzas, it could be that I've addressed it then also, but they don't remember. Because it's Vafsach in the Eigen. The Eden is the pale. This is what could be greater. Shad shezeichim legula mites v'ashlema to we merit to find redemption. The Mashiach tzedkeinu yovi goleinu v'Elokeinu. He'll come and redeem us v'Elokeinu and lead us k'memius standing uprightly artzeinu to our land b'korev mamish. Okay, you look at the Teichana in Yonim, which I posted again yesterday. It's on the table in front of you. Odom, just you're shemikri done everything. Could you daven? Yeah, shkoyach. Unless if Dubius here wants to do it, then let's look at the Teichana in Yonim. Imanu. So what's Imanu? What's our avodah? This is post Matan Torah. Avodas hapirurim. Our avodah is avodas hapirurim. So now he's the first taich. It's four taichin actually. Help me. What are the four taichin? The first more the pshutei shalim yonim. Two taichin are the Frierdiker Rebbe. Poshet, no? What are they? From the beginning of the Maimer. A request and a statement of assurance. Then the Rebbe adds another pirush. Chachma and Bina and Midas. Imanu is Midas, Aviseinu is Chachma and Bina. And then after bringing the Alter Rebbe's Maimer, Imanu is Maisa B'Poyol, even lower than Midas. So the first pirush is when Yam Shachas Mamoichim the Midas, we're asking that just like in Chachma and Bina, that's the Keli for the Ein Sof. Chachma Bina of the Nefesh, because of the Bittul. So too the midas, which are subjective, should also be a keli for the Ratzon Elyon, for Ein Sof, just like the Chachma Bina is within our nefesh. That's the pirush that it brings right away after the Frierdiker Rebbe's. He should be and he will be. The Yoid pirush. This is now the Alter Rebbe. So what are the goyim saying to us? It's a rhetorical challenge. Shehem Moedim, they are masking. Explains the Alter Rebbe, you can draw godliness into your world on the spiritual plane, love of God, awe of God. And it's a logical complaint, a logical argument. What you're doing is futile. You can't change the world. It is what it is. Same old, same old. A Dover Gashmi is a Dover Gashmi, and it can't become Ruchnis, and it can't become Kedusha. It's nonsense, it makes no sense at all. Aval B'nai Yisrael Yodim, they know that's a Sheker Gomer, in the words of the Alter Rebbe, Shekol HaShech Chofetz Havaya, so that's the Hemshech HaPosuk to Loma Yom Ragoyim. Whatever Hashem desires, He does. What's the Chayfetz? The Chayfetz is the 620, Chayfetz is Kesed, the Rotzen. The 620 Amudei Oir, pillars of light that connect the Igra Roma to the Bir HaMikta, the loftiest ceiling to the ground. Hamshochas Rotzen Elyon Basiya. Yes, why? Tell me, please. He brought another pasuk, hint also from Hallel, that is Masbir Taka, the answer to the Lomar Yem Agoyim. It's a tiny tzedekes. It's a legitimate time. What's the answer in the pasuk? Hamakbi, no? Lasheves, Hamashpili, Lidois b'shamayim v'aretz. The Eibishter is beyond shamayim v'aretz, beyond equally. Maila and Mata, Ruchnis and Gashmirs. That's Musa Yisbarach. As he explained at length, they have no shaykhs to that. Their shaykhs is Elokeinu, creator. And mitzat tever abriya, transcendence and immanence are incompatible. Bli gvul and gvul, ruchnis and gashmias. But Eibush is mashpili liras b'shamayim v'aretz. It's both are a descent for him. Both a Maila and Mata. In the words of the Alter Rebbe, the Kavanah cannot be Eilemis Elyonim Hayel. Most famous line in Gantz Chassidus, V'lehem Yeridim Eipanav Yisbarach. That's the old Paraklam Mavav in Tanya. Big revolution the Kavanas did at Achtoinim. These words, Hayel V'lehem Yeridim Eipanav Yisbarach, is Arichas Gedayel in Levitar. I have to look at the new Tanya that came out. That brings the new Tanya, of all the Rebbe's Biurim, from all the Rebbeim. It's like 8 pages on these words. Kedai to learn. Okay. Continuing the Teichen Yonim, some shachas rotzen elyon basiya, there could be, he brings it. Given shemashpili liris b'shamayim bevaretz b'shove. For the Eibishter Shemayim and Oretz are equal. Zeo Yehi Elokeinu Imanu, and now what's the us? May the Eibishter be with us. Bavadiseinu lamata, in transforming the world here, kashahoy maviseinu, just like Elikus is revealed ba'ava v'yirad Avram, in the love and fear of Avram. I'm just thinking because I want to share this with you. I don't have an answer fully, but a shay that I asked the G'dolei HaMaskilim, and that is that the whole Dirib Tachtoinim, what's the Medrash? The Medrash is where? Everybody knows where it is. Where? Nisava Kodesh Baruch Hu is. No, where's that Medrash? You have to know where it is. It's quoted 10,000. Because Medrash Tanchuma Pashas Nosai. First of all, Tanchuma Loshen Nichumim, comfort. That the Dafkin, the Tachten, and the h'tשכ Hashem can after be, and the Tacht will be transformed. And remember, it's Pashas Medrash Tanchuma. Pashas Nosai. Because Pashas Nosai is always the Pash after Matan Torah. So right after Matan Torah is Nisgal of the Kavanah Pnimius. And that medrash, Tanchum, Parshas Nosai, and Medrash Rabbah, whatever, it's the biggest medrash in the whole Medrash Rabbah for sure. The whole Medrash Rabbah comes right after Matan Torah. Biggest is Galus. So what's my shaila? Chassidus is masbir that Atzmos with all the biyurim can only be nisgal in the tachten. The yesha amiti is dafkan the yesha nivra, and oir is not a keli. By definition, oir per se cannot convey the etzem. And it's dafkan paradoxically, dafkan gvul, dafkan the mata, biyurim nifloyim of Chassidus. The shaila is, the Lashon HaMedrash is, Nisava Kadosh Baruch Hu, and Chassidus doesn't quote this part. The Keshem sheyesh le dira b'elyonim, kach nisava dira b'tachtonim. Whoa, so there is a dira b'elyonim. And the same way that he wants a dira b'elyonim, he wants a dira b'tachtonim. But the Chassidus is masbid that there cannot be a dira b'elyonim. Hoivel hem yirida ma'ir panav yisbarach. And one of the biurim is that it's oir. It's dafkin the yesh and the yesh, which is, and then Alter Ben Tanya explains in Perek Lamed Hey that it's only Mikeich Atzmos to create yesh ma'ayins, dafkin gashmi is all the biurim. So what's the kishem? I want to just in this mind, I think now a little bit the answer. Think it through further, whatever. Because this is the request here. Also, that's Avodah Ruchnis. We're going far beyond that. Why are we asking the same as their Avodah? So, something is here that there's the answer. One of the answers is the Kishem is just like there. Elikus is begoloi, so too atzmos begoloi giloyim begoloi. In that sense, even though the amshacha is only of atzmos on the mata, but Keshem, the kavan is not just the amshacha, but the giloy of atzmos, the shleimus of oir, which is lamaila. That's one answer that you could say. You follow what I'm saying? Lichtik edire. There's lichtik. It should be lichtik, even lamata, even though it's gvul.
Because it's known.
Huh?
Because is known. It's known.
Yeah, lichtik yedira, oir, the mile of oir. The atmos is bizgalus. Even the etzem built in mizgala. Okay, this is a whole Torah shleima. Etzem built in mizgala. But nonetheless, Allah said, love it. That's the chiddush. The etzem is bizgalus. So that's the kishem, just like their oil, here too. Even though at the end of the day, that's oil of oil, and this is atzmus, the oil of atzmus. Right, whatever. Okay, let's go further. Vapizeh, habakosh amshachas hamoichin, the leirak b'midas. So now we're not just asking Imanu in our midas, but rather gav b'chinas hasiya all the way down to action b'poel. And the final oyster we just learned this morning, and that the Rebbe is insisting in the diak of the Friedrich Rebbe. Tell me now, what's the main diak there of the Friedrich Rebbe? He ends that fiery, defiant talk. So what's the big diak of the Rebbe?
Not only in Moishe.
It doesn't. If you're quoting the pasuk, say the whole pasuk. Because he wants. So what's the whole answer? That not for sure. That's for sure. When the Yidden das Torah mitzvahs, they set up camp. But even in the journey, even in Belechtach Baderech Ben Shlichus LeShlichus, that's what he said. Even there is as he concludes here in the Teichen, v'gam beis ha'chana ha'hiluch lasis ha'mitzvah. This Teichen devotes more to these words than the rest of the Maamar, because it's big chiddush. Even the going to do the mitzvah, l'chol b'nei Yisrael, not just in where they're settled. And the gam b'lechtecha b'derech, when they're in transience, bein shlichus achas l'shniya, between one shlichus and the other, made it the kazach.